I wanted to talk for a minute about what potentially could be happening in the US over the next 6 to 8 months and beyond. So as everybody knows, President Trump is involved in quite a few court cases right now. He's under indictment for a variety of different things. All right, half the country thinks this is fine. Half the country thinks it's horrible and that it's politically based. All right, I fall into the latter camp. I kind of look at it like, if you're gonna create a massive divide in the country to this level, like this massive divide, you better have some real good cases and reasons to do that. I mean, so some unbelievably good reasons to do it. And pretty much everybody is saying, if they're being honest, that they're just trying to find things to stick to them. Like they're just trying to throw mud at the wall and get the guy in trouble for any way they possibly can. So there's that. And it's unclear what's going to ultimately happen with that. It seems like this is solidifying his base because they really do look at it like it's a political witch hunt. So you've got that going on. It seems at least to be working in his favor at this point, but that remains to be seen. Then you've got, in Biden's camp, I'm still convinced they might do like the old bait and switch and bring somebody else in at the 11th hour. Maybe Newsom, maybe Whitmer, possibly Michelle Obama, possibly even Harris. But that's still unclear, obviously, as well. And that's one of these things that I think would have a lot to do with how the debates go between Biden and Trump on June 27th. I think that if Biden falls flat and is, a train wreck, I think they would very much more seriously consider that. And that's probably also why they're doing that debate at that point in time, which is not really typical. So there's all that happening. But what I think potentially could happen is this. All right, I'm a Trump guy. Do I like everything the guy has done? No. Do I like everything the guy has said or texted, tweeted, what have you? Absolutely not. I disagree with a lot of things. But I choose that side for sure for a slew of different reasons. All right. I'm tired of the state of affairs in this country. I'm not saying he's going to go fix everything. He's going to be the fix-all. All right. God alone can really fix things ultimately. All right. And as a society, we're certainly falling back farther and farther from God when we need him more and more. It would behoove many more people in this world right now, especially it seems, to start to go to church and get right by God. But I digress. But what I think will happen is that if Trump wins, I think that the very beginning of that period of time, and probably in between the election and his inauguration, there will probably be a significant amount of unrest, civil unrest. I believe that's going to happen no matter which party wins. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I don't like to see this divide in the country, but it's probably inevitable that there's going to be some form of unrest, like significant, serious civil unrest in the country. And then probably after the election too, especially if Trump wins. What I believe is that, like I said, Trump's not going to come in and just fix the country and the freaking world. It's just not going to happen. But I do believe that if he does win, probably the worst case scenario is stuff won't get worse. I, in my heart, don't believe it will get worse. And if we're lucky, if we're really blessed, things might just get a little bit better. Because the thing is this, as much as he's going to talk about, he's going to fix the southern border and this and that, and deport people, here's the thing. I could see the guy really clamping down on the southern border and really, as best as is possible, fix that situation. All right, it's not going to be perfect for sure, but a lot better than where it's at right now. But in terms of reversing course and deporting millions of people, let's be honest, it's probably not going to happen. Republicans don't have the stomach for it. The country doesn't really have the stomach for it, because what that looks like, what that actually physically looks like, is intense. Let's just leave it that way. You're talking about armed guys going like town to town, house to house, pulling massive amounts of people out, putting them on secured buses to detention facilities, and then getting them out of the country. Left-wing media will be all over that. View of that wouldn't be taken well by the American public. and the Republicans would probably just balk on it very quickly. So it's probably not going to happen. Yes, they'll hunt to get the criminal element. I'm sure they'll hunt them to find them and get them deported out of the country. But in terms of like a mass roundup, I don't think it's going to happen. I just don't. But like I said, he'll stop kind of the influx of this just insane amount of people coming through, for the most part. So there's that. As to whether or not he's going to be able to curb the inflation, I mean, if I'm going to be honest about things, he passed a massive bill during COVID, whereby you could say that that helped to trigger some of this inflation. I don't know why that was done exactly, but it did. Biden certainly has added to this as well through his madness with creating all these new bills and forcing us to go into tremendous amounts more debt, but that is what it is. In terms of the world stage, we're probably not going to have any new wars under Trump, I would think. Those have already started under Biden, and they don't look like they're stopping anytime soon under Biden. So we at least would have a new outlook on things with the new president. Maybe he would have the ability to stop those wars from happening, especially Russia, Ukraine. Because, folks, that's something that if that really does start to spiral out of control, we have way bigger problems than we've ever known. Seriously. And that needs to come to some kind of a conclusion peacefully as best as possible and soon before things really do get out of control with that. And again, that happened under Biden. This massive amount of illegal immigration happened under Biden. You could try to spin that any way you want. But through executive action on day one of him being in office, he changed things and allowed this thing to happen. And him and Mayorkas are basically doing nothing to turn that around. And they could. They absolutely could, but they don't. So I just really hope and pray that things go smoothly this November and going into January. I don't have a crystal ball. I have no idea what's going to actually happen. Seems like the polls are in Trump's favor, but you never really know. So we just got to stay strong, keep the faith, and just press on and speak to our fellow human being about these things and get people to go vote. Because it's very, very important.